Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes. We need to make sure that when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas, pulling up evidence, and with real evidence, bring them to judges for warrants. Then these people can spend three years of their lives fighting tooth and nail for the crime against the government for crimes they committed, and we can prove. Yeah. And the reason why we put them on trial is that we can show the whole world we will uncover what you've done. We will make sure everyone knows, and you will be held accountable for it.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
So, I'm sure that everybody here has heard the news that Tim Pool has been found to be a Russian asset, and they have been paying not just him, but multiple influencers that are pretty big in the right-wing sphere a good amount of money to promote some disinformation and cover certain stories and just kind of create a narrative that is friendly towards Russia and the Kremlin. So let's take a look at this report that came out and dropped pretty late at night. So I was kind of shocked because I remember, like, I saw it on my feed like right around 9-10 o'clock. And I was just like, how is this just now dropping? But here we go. How Russia operatives covertly hired U.S. influencers to create viral videos. Now, we've kind of had an idea that this was happening already. This isn't like new news, really, specifically going back to even Donald Trump's presidency. Remember, Russia. There's no big deal. There's no interference. There's nothing going on. And then we had Mark Zuckerberg just recently testify that he thought that the editing by the U.S. government during COVID was, overstepping and all these kinds of things. Well, I don't think that we were just paranoid. And I kind of am starting to think that maybe there's just a teeny bit of projection going on, because the people who had the most to lose were the ones who were going off the hardest about it. So I want to kind of just read this because, yeah, it is very, very interesting, and there's a lot more to it than even I thought. So federal officials have accused Russia of using unwitting. Now, I will give them that. Specifically in regards, like, Tim Pool has come out on Twitter today and just downplayed the hell out of this. But I want to be fair. I do have a feeling that he was unwitting. I think that he just saw it as like a consulting company or some kind of thing, or just another deal. However, there's somebody in this. I don't want to bury the lead too much, but there's definitely some actual shenanigans happening here. So, alrighty. On Wednesday, the Justice Department charged 2 employees of RT, Russia Today, or is it the Russia Times? I think it's Russia Today. The Russian state media broadcaster, in a scheme to secretly fund and direct production of social media videos that rack up millions of views. So it's like they took their American RT budget and just decided, hey, we're going to allocate this to all these right-wing, I don't want to call them grifters. I'm going to be as genuine as I can be. Content creators who have a large audience that tend to, swing their opinion a little bit more in the line of, of Russia. They're kind of friendly to Russia, maybe start blaming Ukraine for some things here. Maybe, start saying, Russia's not that bad. And is Putin really that bad? I mean, he's had some good ideas. Yeah. All right. So on Wednesday, the Justice Department, I think I already read that. Yep, I did. Okay. The RT staffers in the indictment, I'm going to call them K and A, have been charged with the conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act. So they're spies. That's just, why are we not just calling it what it is? They're spies. They were interfering with, American elections by spying. And yeah, it sounds like they had some ties in Tennessee here, because they're accused of funneling nearly $10 million to an unnamed Tennessee company. Weird. That should be named. That contracted with online influencers and big audiences. So you're telling me that this unnamed company contacted these guys and was just like, "Hey, I got 10 you don't need to know my name, but I got $10 million to spend. You want it?" And they just kind of went, "Yeah." They didn't ask any questions. The company never disclosed to the influencers or to their millions of followers its ties to RT and the Russian government. Again, gonna be fair, it never disclosed to the influencers. So we cannot sit here pretending that Tim Pool is a Russian spy. He's a Russian asset, certainly. Even unknowingly, he was a Russian asset. And that's a label he's gonna have to just sit with for a while, because facts be facts, dude. Details in the indictment match Nashville-based Tenant Media. Uh-oh. Well, I think that's not on me. It's not unnamed anymore. Also, you think they'll ever be able to watch Christopher Nolan's Tenet and not think about this kind of stuff? I mean, it's just a random thought. Including it. I mean, the movie was okay. A network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues. So they were focusing on people who already shared these opinions. It's almost like they didn't have to give them any playbook, or they didn't have to give them any pointers. They were already hitting them. It's kind of weird that they were being so useful to Russia that they would just be like, "Yeah, we're totally going to pay for this because you guys are already doing the work for us. We might as well pay you for it." Let's see how much more blazing this gets. Tenet was founded in 2022 or 2022. I got that right the first time. I don't know why. My brain just did that thing where it just saw 20 and 22. I was like, 2002? Huh? By Lauren Chen. A conservative I know her. Canadian YouTuber and her husband, Liam Donovan, whose X profiles describe him as the president of Tenant Media. Chen hosts a show on Glenn Beck's Blaze TV and is a contributor to right-wing activist groups Turning Point USA. She wrote an opinion piece for RT in 2021 and 2022. According to the indictment, the Tennessee company's founders worked with KNA, whom they knew were Russian, but okay. But did they know they were Russian Okay, so here's where I'm going to kind of just ask it. Is it okay to just be like, these two people who want to do a business proposal, they're Russian. Just by that merit, should you go, no? We're not at war with them. We do have, open trading with that country. So that makes me think, like, why was that even included right there? Like, okay, so they knew they were Russian. Okay. But I mean, honestly, if you read their last names and you didn't think Russian or, Eastern European of any kind, then you're also just an idiot. So I'll just go back. According to the indictment, Tennessee company's founders worked with KNA, whom they knew were Russian, to recruit influencers and make videos that were published across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X. The indictment says that nearly 2,000 YouTube videos amassed more than 2,000 videos amassed 16 million views? Is that between the 6 of them? Ugh. Which tracks with public statistics on Tenant Media's YouTube channel. Excuse me. Chen and Donovan didn't respond to requests for comment. Of course they didn't. They're going to have... These two are definitely consulting with their attorneys. The charges against KNA come as U.S. intelligence officials say foreign efforts aimed at swaying the outcome of the election are escalating. On Wednesday, the government seized 32 internet domains connected to a separate Russian influence operation, while Iran has recently been accused of trying to hack both the Republican and Democratic presidential campaigns. They did it with a modicum of success because they hacked the Trump campaign. I did a video about 2 or 3 weeks ago about that. You can find that on my channel. What sets the RT operation apart from many other interference efforts is that it appears to reach a real audience. Okay, so like that's the difference between this and the Facebook efforts back in like what 2016 is. That one was just reaching like weird uncles and like maybe like get a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there. But this is like reaching millions of people. Buying authentic influencers is a far better use of funds than creating fake personas. Which makes me wonder if we can go back and start figuring out which were the fake personas. Like who just disappeared after the last like 2 elections where you're like, yeah, they had a pretty decent audience. And then all of a sudden just poof. Because they bring their own trusting audiences and are actually, real. I like how that's a real quote. Wrote Renee DiRistia, author of Invisible Rulers, The People Who Turn Lies into Reality, about how online influencers spread propaganda and rumors, and in a post on Threads. It's so weird. Before this dropped, there was another story that came out, and it literally had nothing to do with this, but it was talking specifically about how, alternate media is kind of hitting its wall and how it's becoming the same thing as like traditional media, where it's like people are just going into these things completely skeptical, echo chambering, which that's exactly kind of what happened with Fox News, MSNBC. It was just so much more overt where it's like you only had the 2 channels. Now it's everybody doing it, themselves. Like I'm part of it. Like I'm part of the progressive media sphere, and I'm kind of a little bit in an echo chamber. I personally try to go outside of my comfort zone and not just be in an echo chamber, hence why I am probably a little bit more center. I mean, I'm still like, I like to not consider myself a full leftist, but I am definitely pretty far left. It's just, not as big into communism as a lot of folks. So, but you know what? It has its merits. I'm just, very big on free healthcare, letting women make the choices for their bodies, and trans issues. I am 100% in support of trans issues and LGBT community because, who the hell has that much time to really care and think about that stuff? All right, well, here's the fun part. And this is what I was kind of waiting for. Number 1, look at that beanie. This beanie wearing douche. Look at him. Look at him. Sorry, I just can't even. Just knowing that he's hiding a little bald head under there is hilarious to me. After Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, many American cable distributors dropped RT and RT America. I do remember that. They did that pretty quickly into the invasion. And on top of it, I do remember that RT America got caught doing some pretty bad stuff. Tenet publicly launched in 2023, in November 2023, with 6 contributors well known in the right-wing media. Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Lauren Southern. Only 4, because the other 2 are, I guess, video game streamers that kind of became bigger in the political sphere, because I think that their gaming channels probably started taking a bit of a hit, or they just outgrew it, which I've noticed a lot of these guys tend to do. I never came from the video game sphere. I started political, so I'll probably be going the other way, where it's like, I'm going to just do some video game streams just to veg out. The videos they create for Tenet regularly cover conservative staples, including migrant gangs, transgender people, online censorship, attacks on VP Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and I'm going to throw in there the Civil War. Tim Pool has been talking about this possibility of a civil war for way too long, and with authority. So I'm starting to wonder, like, was that part of that? And was that one of the ones where it's like you just kind of I'm trying to literally be too fair to him at this point, but it's like, did you do that on purpose, or was that just kind of like a okay, you know what? Because I'm also starting to think that if they were sending these guys, little packets or whatever, that they were probably well done. So at least they saw this stuff, and like they they did this unknowingly, so that means that they were fooled. Like regardless, like no matter how this breaks out, he's either stupid, doesn't do he doesn't do his proper checks on where his money's coming from. So the only victim in this is like, yeah, sure, I guess he could be a victim for Russia, but he's also a victim of his own stupidity. Okay? Let's be real. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, the subject matter and content of the videos are often consistent with the government of Russia's interests in amplifying U.S. domestic divisions in order to weaken U.S. opposition to core government. I did this the last time I read something like this, because they said the same thing. Core government of Russia interests. Can they not just say Russian interests? Like, you got to hit your 300 words? Come on, man. Or what, I don't know, 3,000? Such as its outgoing war in Ukraine. The indictment says. Yeah, they definitely, that they're sending this in, and it's like, who didn't do 3,000 words? God, I do miss that shit. The indictment accuses K&A of working with the Tennessee Company's founders to conceal the true origins of its funding. So no matter what, Laura Chan and her husband knew exactly what they were doing. So those two are, I'm going to use the word that we heard at the beginning of this video, traitors. And what did Lauren Southern say about them? Yeah, I don't agree with that, actually. I don't agree with capital punishment. I think that's stupid, but yeah. They told some contributors that the company was being backed by a wealthy European banker named Edward Grigorian. That sounds fake. That sounds like a bureaucrat that you would invent in D&D. I am going to Edward Gregorian. Come with me, guys. Our party must be funded. In truth and in fact, Gregorian is a completely fictional persona. The indictment said. Oh, fun. The influencers say that they were unaware of the project's Russian connections, which I do believe. I think that Chen is definitely the one that, they knew that. However, on Wednesday, Johnson, Poole, and Rubin posted statements on X describing themselves as victims. Southern did not respond to requests for comment. It's almost like she might have some video clips out there that she's trying to go get wiped off the internet as quickly as possible. Hence why I wanted to showcase that one. Also, why I think that the audio was off, because I got that from Twitter, and it's the only version of that clip I could find. So, yeah. Where did I leave off here? Okay. Company, here we go. Johnson said that he had been pitched by a media startup and had negotiated a standard arm's length deal, which was later terminated. Okay, so Benny Johnson is not that bad. Tennessee Company, yeah, here it goes. Offered lucrative terms, according to the indictment. One influencer was paid $400,000 a month, and a $100,000 signing bonus, in addition to performance bonuses in exchange for 4 videos a week, which he's been meeting. So, this one I'll just bury the lead. It's Mr. Dave Rubin, allegedly. A allegedly exerted a lot of control over the Tennessee company's operations and what it put out, including pushing for specific angles echoed by the Kremlin's narratives. For example, the indictment said A told the company to blame Ukraine for a March 2024 terrorist attack on a Moscow concert hall, even though ISIS had claimed responsibility. Yeah, remember that? And yeah, it was totally ISIS. The company's founder said one of the contributors was happy to cover it. Could you imagine just Dave Rubin, pudgy face going, I'm happy to cover it. Uh-huh. Give me that ruble. Rubles Rubin. Oh. A also allegedly requested the company post a video of a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. Gee, was that Tucker Carlson? Oh, there it is. Tucker Carlson, who traveled to Moscow in February. According to the indictment, a producer at the company told one of the founders it just felt like overt shilling, but was told to just put it out there. They were even like, this is a little mask off for us. And they were like, nah. Hey, you signed the contract. You want this? 400,000. You want 400,000? Huh? You're going to put the story out. Yes. A also urged the influencers to share the company's videos on their own channels and got annoyed when she didn't think they were promoting them enough, according to the indictment, which is funny. Just thinking of this Kremlin lackey just getting, these stupid Americans not doing their jobs. I'm going to tell Daddy Putin on them. Some of the tenant media contributors pushed back against the idea that any outside forces had shaped their work. Okay. Even if it wasn't overt, you have to know that your content was definitely being used to peddle Russian influence. To say otherwise is completely disingenuous on your part, and it kind of makes me think like you did know a little bit more than you're leading on here, and you're not as much the victim as you're kind of trying to play it out to be. I mean, Dave Rubin is, with how egregious his contract was, it's kind of like, all right, man. Yeah. And you still went on Twitter and were like, nope. All right. A also urged the influencers to share the company's videos on their... yeah, already read that. Some of the tenant media contributors pushed back against the idea that any outside forces had shaped their work. Also read that. Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show and the contents of the show that are often apolitical, Poole wrote. The show is produced in its entirety by a local team without... Again, he's missing the forest for the trees on this one. They were using you because you're a useful idiot that they didn't even have to give you these packets. You were just doing the work for them. You should at least feel kind of stupid where it's like, oh, I was doing Russian narrative? Oh, no. You mean like how I'm sitting here preaching about being rah-rah America, patriot, Republican Party, woo-woo. And here you are, comrade Tim Poole. I must go visit my comrade Tim Poole at his compound. I bring skateboard. Russia skateboard is also its ultimate skateboard. I picture a Russian skateboard just being like Biff's grandkid in Back to the Future 2, where it's like the Bulldog, where it's got like the little jets on it and all that kind of... You think that's a skateboard? Check out my skateboard. There was no influence exerted over me in that way. There's no change in my perspective or the nature of my content. Matt, this is the guy that I didn't know who he was. Another tenant media contributor in a live stream on Wednesday. How am I unwittingly duped into saying somebody else's words when I wrote every one of them? Read that one back to yourself, man. Like, he typed those words out and just went, yeah, totally, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's like, yeah, dude, that's how. All right, so we have another article here that is going to give us a little bit more detail on who was involved, because I'm going to give you full disclosure here, and this is going to suck for this just sucks because 6.6 million followers, and I've never heard of this guy. Even I've kind of heard his name like passed around, like in on certain political shows and things like that, but realistically, this guy was not on my radar the same way that a guy like Tim Pool or Dave Rubin have been on my radar. But that's also, I mean, he may not have started crap with the shows that I listen to, so that might have something to do with it. All right, so Benny Johnson, who has 6.6 million followers across YouTube, X, and Instagram. Oh, it's all three, though. Okay. Was described by the Washington Post in 2015 as the king of viral political news. What? Really? I mean, it's the Washington Post, so take that with a grain of salt, but still kind of cool. And on Wednesday, said he's also a victim. Man, you victims. Don't victim blame. Don't victim blame. It's kind of weird how we can also do this to him now, too, or it's just like, that whole thing about, like, were the women asking for it? Because they totally have that freaking mentality with everything. Alrighty. Here's our favorite podcaster, Tim Pool, who hosts The Conservative. Even they call Yeah, Tim. Yeah, you're such a centrist. Yeah, apolitical. Even they're calling you conservative, dude. And this is Forbes. Conservative Tim Pool Daily Show, Timcast IRL, in addition to the Culture War podcast, which was licensed by Tenet Media. Oh no, Dave Smith was inadvertently also being taken down by this. Oh, buddy. You got some rubles in your bank account there. You might want to go purge. Or, I don't know. I mean, now here's the thing. Do you give the money back? If you have that much money, if I was Tim Pool, I would make the performative show of it, and I would just be like, here, I did a firm calculation of how much this company has contributed to my show. I am donating this much to, Ukraine, to the Ukraine Defense Fund. Oh, that'd be a good one. But that'd also be too based for Tim Pool, so let's be real here. On Wednesday, he said he had full editorial control. Yeah, we got that. And ended the lengthy statement on X about alleged Russian interference with Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. Well, when he says something that's right, you gotta agree with it, I guess. And that's right. Putin is a scumbag. Russia does suck donkey balls. The host of the Rubin Report. Here we go. This one's good. YouTube channel with 2.45 billion subscribers. Dave Rubin has been identified as the likely... Yeah, I'm doing the jealousy thing. Sorry, guys. Like, when you see how many subscribers these guys get, you're just like, what? How? They gotta be bots. I don't care. He was identified as the likely commentator number one, who signed a deal with Tenet to produce 4 videos per week in exchange for $400,000 per month. And a $100,000 signing bonus. But who was also unaware the money was coming from Russia's sources, the indictment says. Really? You're getting that much money. Okay, maybe I was going a little too hard on Tim Pool for not looking into it. Come on, Dave. What are you doing? You're not looking like you're getting paid that much and you're assuming, no, it's definitely on the up and up. Again, count those rubles, boys and girl. YouTube gamer turned political personality Matt Christensen, I don't know who you are, whose recent video touched on topics like assault weapons bans, abortion, and immigration, said he could not have been unwittingly duped into creating videos that leans in a certain direction because he writes his own video content. And again, you're missing the point, dude. You're missing the point that your views suck so bad and that they are actually so anti-American that they used you as a pawn for freaking Russia and paid you to do it and just keep going. Like, Are you that dense to not see like, oh, maybe my takes suck. Maybe I am kind of anti-American. Uh-oh. Another Tenet Media personality, Taylor Hansen. I don't know who that is. Wait, Taylor Hansen? Like Mbop? No. Says he had complete freedom and control over my reporting at all times while working for the company and accused the DOJ of running a all right. This guy, he's doing the Donald Trump. It's all fake news. They're coming after me. Everything that happens that's bad is just, it's a witch hunt. Witch hunt. Or they caught you with Russian money there, comrade. I'm going to keep doing it. Taylor Hansen, comrade. Comrade Taylor Hansen. We love the comrade Taylor Hansen. Laura Southern. Here we go. A conservative Canadian personality. Again, I just love these. Because even in our leftist sphere, and I'm going to call it out, some of the biggest political commentary guys are from Canada. So they get to do this without having anything, like they don't have anything in it. Like they just get to they get to do the commentary and then just go and be like, okay, that's not my country, but they sure got some, hot takes on it. All right. Who's Benny Johnson? Don't care. Who's Tim Pool? Don't care. Well, we know. Okay, here we go. Big number. I like how it even just says big number. 8.7 million. That's how much money was paid to the production companies of commentator number 1, 2, 3. The DOJ said, though thought to be Rubin, Pool, and an unidentified content creator. So is there more than 6? See, this is where I'm a little confused now. Because they said 6. They named the 6. You know what? I'm going to go back and read this one because this one, she really just pissed me off. Southern 29 is a Canadian personality with more than 1.54 million followers on X, Instagram, and YouTube. Ugh. She worked for the far-right commentary website, Rebel Media, before striking out on her own and has been criticized for using her own platform to promote white nationalist ideals. Is there a reason that they would be paying her? Oh, yeah. Southern made the news for helping to obstruct a search and rescue operation for refugees in 2017 by embarking on a speaking tour with white supremacist Stephen Molyneux in 2018. She has been banned from monetizing on platforms like Patreon. She still has monetization on YouTube? What? The Atlantic called Southern the alt-right's most influential woman in 2020. Ugh. All right. Well, big number. We already did that one. 8.7 mil. Yeesh. An indictment filed by the DOJ Wednesday accused the Kremlin of funding a media company in an attempt to get right-wing influencers to push pro-Russia propaganda on social media. Yeah, we've kind of gone through that. The indictment did not specifically name Tenet Media or any of the influencers, but the description of the company matches that of Tenet, who's... They're like, yeah, we're not going to say who it is, but you know who it is. Come on, what are you doing? 6 prominent right-wing social media personalities as part of its talent roster. The indictment says Russia's state media employees spent $10 million supporting content creators who posted about views often consistent with the government of Russia's. And yeah, we read that. In the other article, we read that. The indictment does not accuse the individual influencers of knowing about the Russian scheme. I will highlight and reiterate that. The indictment does not accuse the individual influencers of knowing that it was a Russian scheme. That's as fair as I'll be. They may not have known, but now that they do, they can't sit here going, we're just victims. We're just victims. We don't know why they came to us. Why would they? We don't know. Liam Donovan and Lauren Tam. I thought it was Chan. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Look at that. So is this a stage name or some shit? What? Are listed as registered business agents for Tenet Media. Chen is listed as a contributor for Russia-backed RT and is a video contributor to The Blaze. It's almost like the Russia stuff. There was something to that. Weird how it wasn't just like, oh, you're telling me that was a big nothing burger, like that big nothing story that you tried to pass it off as. It was just a witch hunt. The Russia. There was nothing there. There was nothing there. I didn't even do it was the perfect phone call. Quid pro quo? No, quid pro quo. Ugh. Yeah, I don't miss that time in our politics. But anyway, I did enjoy reading that because yeah, the comrades are here, guys. The red comrades, the comrade red pillars. Also, you know what? Use that. Start using that kind of thing because the way that they love to just throw, communist and all that kind of stuff. Although, I'll cover this in an upcoming video, but Lex Friedman did interview Donald Trump, and even I kind of went, yeah, maybe you should tone down like the fascist talking, like saying, like just blatantly calling him a fascist and then letting them call us because it's the same as what we did with Nazis. And I disagreed with that too, where it's just like, oh, you guys are just Nazis. It's like, no, they're not. They may be white supremacists. They may even be nationalists in some way. But listen, the fact that you guys are just, I don't want to call it bad. It is. It's bastardizing language because what you're doing is you're taking away the harder meanings to these words and you're just diluting them. Every time that you call somebody a fascist and then they call you a commie, you guys are seeing it the same way. I know I do. When I get called a commie, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, do you even know what that is? Whereas, yes, we at least know what a fascist is, and we're not technically wrong. We really aren't. Donald Trump does have fascistic tendencies, but I would go as far as to relabel him as just as an authoritarian, because that's exactly what he is. So you don't want to dilute the message, and it's also easier to pass on to a right winger where it's like, no, dude, I just think he has authoritarian standpoints. And then you can list them. You can say, I think that this policy that he had talked about is authoritarian. I think that his immigration policies are authoritarian. I think that his, views on the Supreme Court and packing the courts were, I think that was ridiculous. And that's not just a Trump thing. Can we start also going after the Republicans that were responsible for that? Mitch McConnell, anybody? Oh, I don't believe that we should have a vote during an election year on a Supreme Court nominee. 20 fast forward to 2024, 2024 later. Or what was it? 2020, my bad. I was trying to do the SpongeBob thing, but yeah, fast forward to 2020, and we need to get this judge passed. I don't believe in what I said before. I believe that packing the courts is necessary. And the fact that there's a large contingent of people that not only forgot about that shit, there are some of them that were just like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, bro, come on. Even by your own standards, you're like, you know what? Maybe I am just an authoritarian. Like, maybe I'm an authoritarian dick, and it's like, no, I just want it my way. And that's part of the problem. And I say the same thing about the far, I know, enlightened centrist moment, but I say the same thing about the far left and far right. If the far left is going to be uncompromising, and you're going to be literally uncompromising in your positions, and you're going to attack anybody that is to the center of you, you're not going to ever win any battles. And intellectually, you're never going to do any, you're just going to sit there in your like leftist shitty diaper and just going, man, nobody's going to change me because I don't even want to ask for help because centrists and liberals suck. Yeah. It's kind of like weird how, this whole country, when you look at voter registration, the majority are independent voters. So you kind of have to start going along with, oh, well, and this isn't just me playing it. Like, I'm not doing this just because look at this wishy-washy leftist. No, I kind of grew out of some of, like, this whole idea that bipartisanship is a bad thing. Like, I totally outgrew that idea where it's like, oh, you mean if we have hyperpartisanship, that's where nothing gets done. That's where we have this, obstruction in the House right now, and then we have the obstructions in the Senate, when it's another party. But then nobody, neither party goes, hey, we had the Senate, we had the House, and we had the presidency. But then all of these things that we said we were going to get done or we were going to campaign on or do, tough shit, tough titties. You know what? We just hope that your TikTok algorithm has completely warped your brain to just think in 4-second increments. So, by the time dinner hits, you're not even going to remember this. So, yeah, kind of hard to be outraged about this kind of stuff when you forget about it by the time you go to bed. But yeah, hot takes, guys, hot takes. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys checking out the content. I appreciate you being here. Also, I appreciate you guys joining me and making fun of this because this one was good. This one's definitely going to be an eye-opener, and the timing couldn't have been any better because this did happen, I think there's only like 60-something days left before the election. So this is just one of those other gaps that just closed, and it's going to definitely make their own audiences start questioning, what did you know? So maybe eventually I'll be able to get a Tim Pool listener to call in and kind of give me their thoughts on this whole situation. But anyway, as I said, I do appreciate you checking out the content. Appreciate you being here. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I reached the 200, guys, so I really appreciate you. Anybody that contributed to that, that's awesome. And also, we're pushing for that 1,000. So, like I said, leave that like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.